What's up guys, this is Nick at Stridewise.com. It's a channel about casual, durable men's stuff, especially boots. And the first video I ever did was on this boot, the Iron Ranger. That's a boot that's casual, durable men's boot. And it might be the most iconic and beloved heritage boot in America, but there are a few reasons you might want something like this boot, but not too much like it. And I'll give you alternatives in this video to address every one of these sticking points with the Iron Ranger. I'd wager most of the guys watching this want an alternative that's cheaper because the Iron Ranger is often the first good resellable boot that a guy gets interested in, and it takes a while to process that the $350 price tag is not a typo. Another common concern, maybe the one I see the most in my comments, is the words clown shoe, because this is a very chunky, bulbous toe. So I'll mention some options that are made just as well, but maybe a bit less clowny. On a similar note, it is an extremely casual boot, not just the big round toe, but also the shiny nickel eyelets and super party outdoorsy leather. So I'll mention a more smart casual option. There's no midsole in an Iron Ranger, which is unusual for a Goodyear welted boot. It's one reason why the shock absorption is not good. So I'll mention an option for that. And Red Wing also aren't great at keeping wide widths in stock. So I'm also gonna mention some brands that are more accessible for the wide-footed guy. And finally, some guys actually want to spend more money on a boot. They want a really premium option. $350 is not gonna stop them. They'll spend as much as they need to get the best boot that's like an Iron Ranger on the market. And I've got two for that actually. So let's just start, man. Look, and so number one, just because the number one concern is price, I'm gonna mention the best alternative that costs less. That is Thursday Boot Company. This is not the only brand I'm going to talk about, but they do address almost all of the concerns that I just mentioned. Their best-selling Captain boot here, it's $199, even though it's got a resellable Goodyear welt as well. This and almost all of their boots have a leather midsole and pour-on insoles, unlike the Iron Ranger, so that pour-on and the midsole means they absorb shock a lot better. It is slimmer, so it's less of the super casual work boot look, and it's easier to wear with slimmer pants as a result. If you have a kind of slimmer or tapered pants with this gigantic round boot, that often looks a bit cartoonish. Many of the Captains come in not one, but two wide width options, while Red Wing has trouble keeping one in stock. So yeah, it's a very good alternative. If you want a boot that looks more like an old-fashioned work boot and is built more like one too, like all leather internal components and stitched-down construction and a chunkier look. They also just came out with the Challenger boot. This one is a lot more like a logger boot than a work boot, but good option. But look, there are other cheaper boots. Many folks gravitate toward the very compelling South African brand Jim Green. We've reviewed their African Rangers before on the channel, but the most Iron Rangery boot is the Numzan. The best leather with their vegetable tan leather options. Those are $249. And you get the option of two different outsoles as well, so there's some customizability you can get there. Cool things about Jim Green is every purchase contributes toward giving free boots to African game rangers. Also, these boots are made with resellable stitched down construction, which one could argue is more skillful than Red Wing's Goodyear welt, or more durable, or more water resistant. There's a lot of hair splitting there, and it depends on techniques I'm not gonna get into. Jim Green, believe it or not, has more leather underfoot than Red Wing's in the Numzan boot to help produce that custom fit feeling over time as it molds to your foot. Plus, that also makes the shock absorption, again, a little bit better than Red Wing's. And they are $100 cheaper. Now, when we reviewed the African Ranger boot, we were not impressed with the insole it came with, but the Numzan is one of their premium boots, so it has leather lasting board and leather midsole. So it kind of addressed one of those complaints made. Maybe they listened to us. The stitch-down construction is a little bit harder to get resold than a Goodyear welt, but you can probably get it done. Are these alternatives still too expensive? Then, one more, for $139, Golden Fox's Boondocker is pretty much considered the cheapest decent boot you can get. The big downside is that the Goodyear welt is plastic instead of the usual vegetable tan leather, so it's very hard to resole. But, so the resoleability is hampered. You might get one out of it, which is probably all you're gonna need. But even with the plastic welt, which people are right to complain about, that still gives you good durability and water resistance, which are big parts of wanting a Goodyear welted boot like the Iron Ranger. We did a review on those boots. Honestly, the leather's fine. Shock absorption is also very good from the crepe rubber outsole, better than the Iron Rangers. So very flexible, slip resistant. That kind of rubber sole is not crazy durable. But the thing is, Golden Fox's Boondocker is priced fairly. If it were $300, I'd complain. For $139, and I often see it for $99 on Amazon, the cost lines up with the value. And it's like a third the price of Iron Rangers. All right, let's go up in price and try to go a little bit faster. Wolverine's 1,000 mile. It's a very well-made boot. Usually it's more expensive at $400, but it's often on sale. It was just $300 last week. So if you're patient, you should know they go on sale much more often than Red Wing does. And the leather is also maybe the most beloved casual boot leather on earth, which is Chrome XL from Chicago's Horween Leather Company. I won't say better leather, but practically every boot company on earth has a Chrome XL boot, and it is almost always their bestseller. So it's like an important and historic leather that you might prefer. They also have more soles to choose from as well. You can get a leather sole if you like, which I actually am a big fan of, but although right now they don't have any wide widths. Now, if what brought you here is you want an alternative that's more versatile and better made, or you wanted more colors and leathers to choose from because Red Wing doesn't offer all that many colors and leathers, You should know Grant Stone and their diesel boot is often part of this conversation. The brand has risen to the top of the food chain among the really discerning boot nerds on Reddit who are really nitpicky about quality control. So if you are the kind of guy who's interested in a boot because it's durable and comfortable and good looking, as opposed to the specific chunky work boot style, like you're just looking for something to wear in the city and not to work, as a guy who's been making boot content for I think like 7 years now, I can tell you the most finicky boot guys adore Grant Stone. They've got some more casual products and some more dressy ones, but the brand and this boot are like the king of smart casual. So I got my diesel boot in this cool gray antelope leather. It's in storage right now, I'm moving at the moment, but this is the one I've been wearing a lot. And it's also available in any Chrome XL color. They've got this great Italian vegetable tan color if you like the golden orange of Red Wing's famous 875 Mocto boot. And they've even got bison and suede and ostrich and other leathers sometimes, like green kangaroo I saw recently. You can get a good amount of diesels for $360. The suede ones often wind up on sale for $298. Grant Stone also has a Garrison boot, which while lower profile, might be closer to the Iron Ranger look that you want. Oh, and Grant Stone also has 2 wide widths as well. They're very good for the wide width guys. Their customer service is really good. I'd say better than Red Wings as well. They've got a distribution center here in America. They're not made in America, but they have American staff. They're good doing returns and exchanges to make sure you get the right size. And there's also a lot more leather underfoot. Okay, so now we're at the more expensive than Red Wings section. I'm gonna give you 2 options that are both made in America and famously tough. Your best bet is probably Truman Boot Company. The owner, Vince, has his own factory in Oregon, and he also pays nothing for marketing, including to guys like me. And all this keeps the price pretty crazy reasonable. Plus they use heavier weight leather than Red Wing, leather heel counter. Their finishing is more refined if that matters to you. Like they use high grit finished sand to smooth the heels and the sole over Red Wing's rough sand. A lot of boot nerd stuff like that. Truman also excels by offering wide versions more often, and they use both Iron Rangery lasts like this 79 last, and they also have a more slim one called the 56. So you have more options for chunkiness. You have like 3 options. Vince Truman tends to just name his boots after the leather he made it with, and what's available changes a fair amount by season. The best selling ones though are this chocolatey black waxed flesh and this one here, Coach Rambler. So Vince is really good at bringing in weird limited leathers as well, like deer and turquoise suede, but if you want something close to Red Wing, I don't know man, this brown double shot one might be it, and it's just $60 more. And I think I can say that it's made better than Red Wing, and it's still super American made, independently owned. So I don't know, check out their site. Maybe you like the brown horse rump or something pink instead. And then lastly, the boot that is most often called the super premium Iron Ranger is this one, the Americana, made in Washington State by Nick's Handmade Boots. It's got the big wide work boot look that you love, but relative to Red Wing, it's got much thicker leather, about 3 millimeters, more layers of leather underfoot, and it's got thicker and oak bark tanned leather underfoot, which is very premium. A leather shank too, which a lot of people prefer for being less rigid and lighter weight. It's got double row stitch down construction, and you can wear Nick's boots for months, and I have worn these for months and they still look new. They're just unbelievably tough. Nick's also is maybe the best brand for wide sizes. They offer 9 widths, including some narrow ones even. You never see anyone doing that. Maybe Allen Edmonds, but not in this style, definitely. And you can pick from over 30 leathers and 4 different soles for them. Downsides, $650 price tag, and much worse, worst of all, they have incredibly long lead times. They make the boots for you. It's more sustainable as well, and it also keeps the price down. They're made to order model, but it regularly takes 4 to 8 months to get your boots made. So Nick pays me commissions that I make on this channel, and Truman doesn't. But like, if I were you, I'd just get Truman. They make their stuff faster, and they got a lot more boots in stock. All right, man, I think those are pretty solid alternatives for just about every complaint you could have about the Red Wing Iron Ranger, from cost to versatility and everything else. Lastly though, if what you want is the Red Wing brand and something more versatile, they actually just came out with the Beckman boot, which they discontinued a long time ago, and they just brought it back. I don't know for how long, but that's an alternative that's actually from Red Wing that is much easier to like wear like business casual or something. So that's another one. Otherwise, look, links to everything I've discussed in the description below. Let me know other alternatives in the comments that you have thought of. I could have kept going for like 30 boots, don't get me wrong, but you know, I can't have videos that long, guys, so I don't put everything in here. So let me know what I missed, and subscribe as well for more stuff on casual durable men's stuff. I'll catch you for the next one.